Hi everybody, welcome to Module 4. We are moving along quite quickly and we are now officially into Module 4, which is an exciting module. Of course, I always think they are all exciting, but if you are a fan of poetry, then you will really like this first week. This module is a little different than the others that we've had thus far. We have 3 weeks in this module. So looking ahead, this week will be poetry, our second week will be realistic fiction, and our third week will be fantasy. So just plan on being in module 4 for 3 weeks instead of 2, and sit back and enjoy the ride. So our first week that we're going to focus on in this video is on poetry. And as we know, poetry is fun. Many of us think so, and some of us don't have a very good opinion of poetry. So my hope is that as you dig into this a little bit deeper, if you don't have a positive opinion of poetry, that maybe things will change. And if not, that's okay. At least you've learned a little bit more about it. So of course, the first thing that we're going to do is click on our Overview Poetry tab right here. It's going to just guide us through the week and of course help us look ahead for our planning. This week, our focus, as I mentioned, is on poetry, and so that will be the reading that you do in our module readings. Let's go ahead and read all of our module readings on poetry, and then you will be ready to complete the reading organizer. And we are pretty deep into our semester now, so I know that you guys are feeling very comfortable with the reading organizer content, but as you know, it's due on Tuesday night. And of course, the purpose of that is so that you are fully up to date on all of the module content for the week, and then you're ready to do the rest of the activities. So complete your RO by Tuesday, and then you'll be ready to focus on our reading commentary. So this week we have a reading commentary, and we also have an assignment due on Sunday. Our reading commentary is you need to find 2 books of poetry. Now, it's easy to find a book of poetry and choose 2 poems, but I'm asking that you find 2 separate books of poetry to complete this reading commentary. So the first thing that you're going to do is check out, of course, I am including a few links for books of poetry. We have Best Poetry Books. And of course, these are always just suggestions. You certainly do not have to choose the books on this list. If you have some at home that you love, or if you're in the library and you find something not on this list, that's certainly okay. So here is this one, 50 Best Poetry Books for Kids. And then go ahead and click on the other link and it will show you the books that are available there. Again, you can do a search at the library. You could also do a search on your own for your favorite poetry books, but I just like to provide these links to help you steer you in the right direction. So reread your books with attention to the forms of poetry that they include, what age groups of the readers the book is perfect for, and which poem from the book was the best to read out loud, and how you would market that book of poetry. That's all in your initial post. So these books are typically huge with many poems in them. I understand that you will likely not read every single poem in both of these books, but please make an effort to read as many as you can and practice reading them out loud. Reading a poem in your head quietly to yourself is going to give you a very different experience than reading it aloud. So if you have young children to read it to, it's even better. If you have an audience of any type that you can read it to, of course that's better because you get their reactions. But if you can only read it to yourself, that's fine. But please practice reading aloud. You will get a different experience. So for each of your books, you need to include, of course, the title and the author, and then the forms of poetry that the book includes. That should be about 2 to 3 sentences. Most poetry books do contain many different forms of poems. So part of your job as you're searching through these books is to find different types of poetry within the book. And you will find that if you do the exercise of searching through. What forms of poetry are included in your book, right? And describe at least 2. Name the form and define it. Of course, you can reread Module 4 if you're not exactly sure or you cannot remember, but all of the types of poetry are discussed in Module 4. Next, you're going to discuss what age group you think that this poetry book is perfect for and tell me why in a couple of sentences. Then you're going to tell us about one poem from the book. So this is the place where you will really hone in on one particular poem from that particular book. That is the one you need to definitely practice reading aloud, and tell me why you feel this was the best or your favorite. This should be about 2 to 3 sentences. Since poetry is often overlooked by readers, which is a true fact, some of you poetry lovers may cringe at that thought, but it is true. Think of what you would say to market this book of poetry. Okay, so this is a digital age, this is a social media world that we live in. So if we wanted to get some poems out to the world, the best way for us to do that, of course, is to send out a tweet. I want you to think of the perfect tweet that would promote this particular poem. And then at the end, put hashtag poetry rocks. If you love to tweet and you love the poem, by all means, tweet it out. If not, just put it in the reading commentary. And then, of course, please attach your images to the thread to show that you have read the book. If you can take some pictures of the 2 poems, that would be even more awesome. We would love that. So if you want to include a couple of more pictures of the book as well as the poems, that would be great. But of course, the requirement is just the 2 books. Please remember that I do not accept digital images of books. It has to be a book in hand, or if you are using an e-reader, such as a Kindle or a Nook or something like that, if you take a picture of the book or the poem downloaded onto your e-reader, that will be absolutely fine. If you are finding that you're having a hard time embedding your pictures, some of us are embedding them, but they're not coming across to me or onto the reading commentary, but it's just showing an image that you did try to embed, then please go ahead and just attach the image as you would any kind of attachment to the reading commentary, because sometimes these embedded pictures are not going through. You can tell if you go back to your reading commentary and look, if your picture is there, then it's there. But if there is just a little icon that is showing, picture was supposed to be there, then that means that it did not come through and we cannot see it. And at this point in the game, I will not give credit if I can't see the image. So double check if you're embedding photos, that's great. Just verify that they did go through. If you're having trouble with the embedding, please make sure that you are just attaching them, and it should come through easier that way. Also, do make sure that you're responding to your 2 peers. If you recall, this is 2 points on our 10-point reading commentary. So if you're not making those peer posts, you're automatically losing 2 points. Remember that the post must be made by Sunday. It needs to be 2 responses to your peers in a meaningful way. Just set a timer for yourself if you're having a hard time remembering, or do it all in one shot. That's fine too. But do make sure that you are getting that participation points. Okay, jumping back now, that is our reading commentary. Jumping back to what else is due, we have our favorite poem read aloud. And this, of course, you're going to hear me say this, is super fun. We get to use the Flipgrid. Some of you may have experience using Flipgrid, I'm not. So I will walk you through how to do this. You need to have a mesacc.edu email or a maricopa.edu email. That's fine. Either one will work, your Maricopa or your Mesa CC. It cannot be personal email. So first I want you to click on the link, and it's going to take you here. So we know this is our class. It's EDU291 Fall 19. This particular section is 24613. You may have a different section listed, and that's completely fine. I log in with Google. If you have a Microsoft account, that's fine, but I believe that Google is what is going to log into our school email. You can see I have many emails to choose from, so I'm going to choose my Mesa CC and click on. If you don't have an account, you're going to have to create an account. If you do already have an account, then it will let you just log in. So either way, if you have to create an account, create it with your school email, and it will then log you in. So this is our favorite poem read aloud. It's really cool. What you're going to do is, after you've read Module 4, I want you to decide on a poem to share. So if it's your poem from the reading commentary, that's awesome. If it's another poem from one of the books, or it happens to just be your favorite poem of all time, that's fine. Whatever poem you choose is your choice. Then I want you to practice reading your poem with feeling and emotion and clarity. I want you to practice again and again and again until you feel comfortable. And then you are going to record yourself on the Flipgrid. This is a video recording discussion board. So make sure you're comfortable with it. If you need to practice using your phone or your computer recording yourself a few times until you're comfortable, that's fine. And you can record and re-record until you get it just the way you want it. And then in your recording, you need to include the title and the author of the poem. And then after you have made your recording and posted it to the Flipgrid, you are then going to go back and listen to at least one peer's read aloud share and then make a post. So, for example, I would make my video and say, "Hi, my name is Georgia, and I am going to be reading the poem Light in the Attic by Shel Silverstein." And then I would go ahead and read my poem with feeling and emotion, as if I was really trying to evoke feeling and emotion to my audience. And then I would, when I'm done reading, I would end the reading commentary or end the Flipgrid. Or I could say, "Thank you for listening to my poem. Have a great day," or whatever you want to do to sign off. This should be fun, and I hope you do enjoy it. So when you're ready, you just click this big button here, and it will ask you, do you want to, well, my computer asks me if I want to record it. I would click allow, and then it would start recording. So definitely do make sure that you are ready before before you click allow, because this is going to the camera's going to come on and you will be ready to go. So practice it a few times before you post it onto the Flipgrid. Okay, the other thing, if you have any questions or any issues with the grid, please email me through Canvas right away, and I will help walk through any issues. But the main thing is create an account. It needs to be a school account, and it should just let you in. Just follow this link. The one thing I think I forgot to mention is that the poem may not be longer than 2 minutes. So again, when you're practicing, time yourself, make sure that it is within the 2-minute range. Another thing is that this assignment is completed outside of Canvas, therefore it's going to show up that it is not completed. So in order to remedy this, I'm asking that you do make a comment within Canvas that says, "I have completed the Flipgrid," and then therefore it will show up that you have completed it. So just post in, "I have completed the grid," and then you don't have to see that irritating little notation that says you have not completed it. If you forget to do that, you will not be docked points or anything, but you will have it show up that it is not complete. So it's really for your own tracking purposes. All right, everybody, so that is what's due for week 1 of Module 4. But as we look ahead, we're going to go into realistic next week. So you should be in the process of reading The Hunger Games. I know that I mentioned it in my videos in Module 3 to get started, but it is essential that you are in the middle of reading that. If you are not, then you need to go get Hunger Games today and start reading it. Please don't just rely on the movie. It is not the same. So continue reading along with Hunger Games, and then also, if you have not already, please start reading The Invention of Hugo Cabret. That is not due. That's literature study number 4. It is not due until the very end of our course, but it's a long book. Most of it is illustrations, but it requires some time. So as I've mentioned in my previous videos, put Hugo by your bed and read a couple pages every night. It's very relaxing. And it will also be an enjoyable experience. You won't be cramming till the end. All right, next week we're going to be reading our Newbery Award winner books. That's a reading commentary that we are only responsible for reading 1 book that week, but they are chapter books. So along with your Hunger Games that you've got going and your couple pages of Hugo every night, you do need to start reading your Newbery book for your reading commentary, which is due next week. So I recommend heading to the library if you haven't, and pick up a Newbery Award winner so you can start reading it this week, and because we don't have much going on with our poetry, so that by next week you will be done with your Newbery book and ready for your reading commentary. Okay, everyone, it's been great. I will see you in my next video for week 2 of Module 4. Have a great day, everyone. Email me if you need me. Bye.